Thank you, K391, for starting us off right. Get rid of this. Is my webcam going to work? Oh, my webcam doesn't even work. Well, whatever. You are listening to Everybody Hates Luke, and we are just going to try and get the webcam going, because I don't want to restart the stream. Because the webcam works if I'm over here. Which one is my webcam on? Alright, so here we go. This webcam's working. So let's do properties, deactivate when not showing. Boom. And now I go over here. Hey, and now we're back in business. Hey. Alright. So, we in here, boys. You already know what it is. Turk the Pally, Everybody Hates Luke. Politics, video games, all that good shit. Oh, fuck. Hold on, I just dropped a pin on the ground. Alright, found it. I can't lose this because this is how I get the SIM card out of my cell phone. Or I guess put back in my cell phone. Alright, so we have a couple things we're going to do today. So if you aren't familiar with the show, what we do is we look at either the front page of Reddit, which is on this side, or we're going to do some video games, some videos, some whatever. So yesterday we were doing Puerto Rico. Today we're going to do taxes and stuff. So to start us off, we've got Trump's tax plan helps Wall Street not, helps Wall Street not Main Street. We're going to watch this because I was running late today, so I didn't get a chance to eat my lunch. So I'm going to eat my lunch, and we're going to watch this video, and I'm still going to comment on it, but I also do want to just, like, because I'm just going to literally demolish this fucking food. Like, you guys are going to watch me be just an absolute disgusting mongoloid. No, I'm going to put my camera off so you don't watch me eat. But, no, I won't. You get to watch me be a fucking
It's the Real News Network.
mongoloid.
I'm Sharmini
All right.
Paris coming to you from Baltimore. A general consensus is emerging that
So this is my first time watching this channel, by the way. Not like, never seen it before.
The country's upper classes and corporations. In fact, the only people that got a tax increase are the poorest taxpayers. A quick scan of even business press headlines will reinforce what I'm saying. For example, Bloomberg writes, tax reform could open a huge loophole for wealthy Americans. And the conservative magazine's National Review has a headline that reads, Congressional Republicans' tax plan isn't great for Trump's suburbanites. However, Trump himself promised on Wednesday that he and the rich generally would not benefit from this plan. Here's what he said.
Our framework includes our explicit commitment that tax reform will protect low-income and middle-income
Bullshit.
households, not the wealthy
Bullshit.
and well-connected. They can call me all they want. It's not going to help. I'm doing the right thing, and it's not good for me, believe me.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, alright. Fuck you, dude.
Mean for us is Michael Hudson. Michael is a distinguished research professor of economics at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. He's the author of several books, and the most recent among them.
J is for Junkonomics.
Good to have you back, Michael.
Alright, so let's see what this guy talks about.
Here. Everyone seems to agree that this tax plan will benefit only the rich. Give us a sense of your main points of why you want to contest this tax plan is beneficial for all.
Sure.
All right, so let's see.
It's called the Leona-Helmsley tax plan. Now, only the little people will pay taxes. But about the loopholes, the interesting thing is Trump said that he wasn't going to gain a penny. And he may have been telling the truth, because that would be true if he's already paying a zero income tax. And his income tax rate is going to go from 0 to 0. And that's about the same for a lot of the biggest corporations in America. Apple,
That's pretty savage.
Google, Alphabet, these companies that have been taking all of their profits abroad, trillions of dollars, supposedly, that they're holding abroad altogether, they haven't paid any taxes on because they've held them nominally in a teeny little office in Ireland or Cayman Islands, claiming that they have to pay hardly any.
So our tax reform really isn't going to change that, will it?
Representation is that Trump says that now we can bring all this money back from these offshore enclaves, in these tax avoidance zones. The reality is the money's never been in these zones. The money's been in America all the time. Apple, Google, rich real estate companies simply hold the money in an American bank, but in the name of
I was wondering where he was going with that. Okay.
Panama or some other offshore enclave. So there will be zero effect on the balance of payments, but it will just lock in their zero rate, enabling them to have avoided taxes for over a decade. I think 2004 was the last tax holiday. They'll bring them all back now without having to pay much tax at all.
Michael, another method that wealthy individuals...
Okay, but I don't get why they... What would be the benefit of them coming back?
...is deducting investment expenses. Tell us how this works.
So let's see.
If you look at the real estate industry, about the loopholes, since World War II, the National Income and Product Accounts report real estate is hardly paying any income tax at all. If you own a building and you're an absentee owner, not living there, not a homeowner, but absentee owners get to avoid paying any income tax because they don't earn an income. They pay interest, rented to paying interest, or they pretend under the accounting rules that the building's actually depreciating in value, even while the building's soaring in value. It's going way up. They don't have to pay tax, and then finally, with the estate tax being nullified, when they die, they don't have to pay any capital gains. The heirs get it without having to pay any tax. The richest people would have to pay an estate tax, but that's being knocked out also.
So
I think that everybody who, as you pointed out, who looked at the tax plan says all the benefits at the top. Where's the benefit for the low-income people? Well, the low-income people are going to have to pay more tax. The minimum tax rate is actually raised from 10%.
oh boy,
to 10%.
this is not what I want to hear, dude.
People who live in Democratic states, New York, New Jersey,
Will not be
Maryland,
able to
California,
subtract the state.
will not be able to subtract the state and local taxes that they've been paying all these years. So the tax rate for wage earners, for people who actually have to file a tax form and declare an income, is actually going to go up, and the economy is going to be made even poorer.
All right, so I want to take a quick pause. So something that should be clarified, which I needed to clarify for myself, like earlier, was that there's two types of money, or ways to earn money, right? There are the people that do like internet transactions, kind of like hedge fund managers, people that just do things online. You know, they don't make their money through salary. Like they don't make their money through, like, you know, working, you know, a job, putting in hours and stuff. You know, like, or well, I guess they don't put in hours, but it's you know, it's like people that earn it. You know, like if that does, it's hard to. What was the word that they used? Shit. It's like people that, you know, working class people, I guess, you know, because they all get taxed differently than people who just deal with like online management money and bullshit, right? So he's talking about when he says like these people that will be affected, it's just like, you know, anybody that gets paid through by working for other people, like working for money. It, you know, it's different than people like these Wall Street guys and all these brokers and all of these, you know, people, corrupt politicians and all these lobbyists and all this bullshit, because all they do is they just have to talk to each other and bullshit, and then they get to keep all the money. Yay.
Trump and his supporters argue that tax reductions will make the U.S. more competitive and it will lead to more investment. In an earlier interview that we had with Dean Baker, he points out that historically this has not happened when taxes on corporations and on the wealthy were reduced. So if it does not lead to more investment, what do the corporations do with this additional untaxed income?
They're going to do the same thing they've done with 92% of corporate earnings in the last decade. They're going to pay it out as higher dividends, pushing up the stock price, and most of all, they're going to use the money for stock buybacks. They're going to buy back their stocks to raise the price. They are not going to invest, and the reason they're not going to invest is, if the reason you would invest would be to sell more goods to the market and expand the economy. But most corporations, and certainly Wall Street, know that the game is over. The economy has not grown since 2008. Except for the financial sector and the real estate sector. That is, except for the richest 5%, 95% of Americans, the economy shrunk just like it's shrinking in Europe. Now, corporations know this, and they say there's only one thing we can do now that the game is over and the economies are shrinking. We're going to take the money and run. We're going to cut the taxes, and all the money that we get from whatever we are able to earn, we're going to, you know, give to our stockholders.
What are the consequences of this for us?
So they're just preparing for the world to go to shit so they can inherit their useless money.
A vengeance, but it's not going to work. There's no way that a group of Republican senators are really going to commit political suicide by going and actually voting for this plan any more than they voted for Trump's medical health plan and revocation of Obamacare. What this is really doing politically, though, is driving a stake through the heart of the Democratic Party. The Democrats are so sure that the kerfuffle over this tax plan is going to backfire against the Republicans, that the knives are out and they're fighting like they've never fought before against the supporters of Bernie Sanders, against Elizabeth. The Wall Street, Hillary, wing of the Democratic Party says, now we're going to win the election. We don't need Bernie supporters. We don't need the working class. We can
All right, so where did we get from tax to this? What the heck? How do we end up on Bernie criticisms?
And, obviously, the Bernie supporters and the bulk of the Democratic Party is not going to go along with the thieves at the head of the National Committee, and it's going to probably split the Democratic Party, because the way in which politicians are opposing the tax plan is it's going to vastly increase the budget deficit if it were passed. Just like the Reagan and Bush tax cuts quadrupled the national debt, the same thing would happen. And so what you're having is the Democrats who are arguing against the Trump plan are budget hawks. They're saying a deficit is bad. Now, as you know from the people you have on this program, like my colleague Bill Black, myself, the modern monetary theorists, we're all in favor of having the government run a budget deficit if it pumps money into the economy, if it does lead to more investment, if it does employ more people.
Because long term it pays off.
It's not going to pump money into the economy at all. It's only going to pump money into Wall Street, and the money's going to be used just to push up stock prices, push up bond prices, and push up real estate prices and trophies for the rich. So it's exactly the opposite of the kind of deficit that we've been urging all along. So you're going to have a lot of junk economic theories on the Democratic side opposing the junk economic theories on the Republican side.
Oh, now he's just pushing his book. What's in junk economics? Oh, why don't you read my book?
Supply side economics. But the people who originally introduced supply side economics under Reagan, people like Craig Roberts, have denounced the Trump plan, saying this is a travesty of supply side economics, because all it does is supply more money to the richest 1%. It supplies more money to Wall Street, not to the economy at large. And that's what really should be brought out. And I know that you're bringing it out.
I hope this doesn't pass. This is depressing. We get to look more into this today? Fuck. I mean, like, I'm happy to learn more about it, but man, this is gonna suck.
And I guess this discussion will only continue over the next couple of weeks, so we hope to come back to you. Thank you.
All right.
Good to be here.
Cool. So let's pause this.
Thank you for joining us here on the Real News Network.
Pause. Why won't you pause? Stop. There we go. All right. So we've got that. No, we want Trump's economic tax plan. All right. So this was 11 months ago. This is 1 week ago. 1 week ago. I'm so curious. All right. Dang. All right. So 5 months ago, Donald Trump's tax plan. I want a more recent one. 1 week ago. 5 months ago. Analyzing the Trump plan. 1 week ago. CBS. Fox Business 7 months ago. I want a Fox Business like recent one. That's what I want, because I want them. I want a recent one. All right, so let's see. Not the Young Turks. I want Fox News. Yeah. All right. You know what? This is close. Let's see what fucking Fox News has to say.
All right. So President Trump, he hit the road today to outline details of his tax plan and how it's going to impact you and your families. Let's take a look.
This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and I guess it's probably something I could say that I'm very good at. I've been waiting for this for a long time. We're going to cut taxes for the middle class, make the tax code simpler and more fair for everyday Americans, and we are going to bring back the jobs and wealth that have left our country, and most people thought left our country for good. We want tax reform.
What are you talking about?
Pro-jobs, pro-worker, pro-family, and yes, tax reform that is pro-American.
Now, basically, the president, he's
All right,
following
so
through
let's
on what he
see.
promised you on the campaign trail. Now, here's what the president outlined today. He's going to consolidate the 7 current brackets to just 3 brackets with new rates, 12, 25, and 35%. He's going to double the standard deduction, and if you're single, well, you're not going to pay taxes on the first $12,000 you make. If you're married, that increases to $24,000. The child tax credit, that also will be expanded, and he will repeal the alternative minimum tax, and he will end the death tax, double taxation. Now, the corporate rate will be lowered to 20%, and he wants to create a 25% pass-through tax rate, which is going to help small business owners. And he's also calling for a very low repatriation tax, and that's...
So why wasn't that thing that he said a bullet point then?
Targets money directly that's parked overseas because of the high taxation and regulation here, and that allows these multinationals to bring trillions back to the American economy.
All right, but
So, let me explain. The
all right.
corporate side of tax reform is so very important, and here's why. When businesses face higher taxes, it gets passed on to you, the customers. Corporations don't pay taxes. Now, if President Trump's plan is approved, all these companies will have billions of dollars, if not more, of extra money.
Does he have a metal
Put it in their
tooth?
bank account. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to invest capital in manufacturing centers and factories, which will create jobs for the millions of.
So I don't like relying on other people, and that's what this is. This is just like relying on them to invest.
The House Freedom Caucus, they are now supporting the president's plan. So basically, everything that the president is proposing is designed to help grow the economy. And the only thing I would add to the plan personally, give a tax cut across the board. Let everybody have it. And in many ways, it's a lot like what President Reagan did in the 1980s. Now, President Reagan, he created the blueprint for economic success. And it all adds up. Here are the facts. Reagan, he slashed over the course of his presidency the top marginal rate from 70 to 28%. As a result, economic growth exploded. For example, in 1984, GDP growth, get this, hit 7.3%. Well, Barack Obama didn't reach 3% in a single year of his presidency. The only president in history not to do that. 20 million jobs were created under Reagan after the '82 recession. Revenues to the government doubled by cutting taxes. And America, it saw the longest period of peacetime economic growth in history to that point. And if Americans...
Yeah, to that point. And then Clinton came and was like, oh, what's good? Clinton, I fuck everything. I play the saxophone.
He cut the top marginal rate from 91% to 77%. Same thing. Millions of jobs created. GDP growth soared. But today, the left, predictably, all they want to do, despite all the tax cuts that the president's proposing for the middle class and corporations and small businesses, they do what they always do. Right to the playbook. Let's play class warfare. Take a look.
Class warfare.
The wealthiest Americans and wealthiest corporations make out like bandits, while middle-class Americans are left holding the bag.
What has been released today makes a total mockery out of the president's pledge that he wanted tax relief to be for the working class and it wouldn't be for the wealthy.
It's a swindle of the American people selling the same blueprint that failed trickle-down Bush tax cuts for the rich did not create jobs and only increase the deficit.
Oh shit. Bang, bang.
And then you got the mainstream media.
They're good talking points. How is that a boring talking point that you're ruining the economy? Sucking the America dry.
Are those cuts imbalanced, favoring the wealthy over the working class?
The president says this plan will provide little benefit for people of wealth like himself. Is that true?
In a word, no. The majority of this tax plan, the benefits are going to go to the wealthy.
If he's worth, as he says, $10 billion, and he doesn't have to pay any tax on his estate, that would be an enormous bonanza for him and other very wealthy people, right?
Absolutely. You can cut taxes on people who are lower income, but it's peanuts in their wallet compared to the windfall that would be for the wealthy. They're not even mentioning some of the easiest stuff that benefits the wealthy and that is considered by everyone to be essentially unfair, that people like hedge fund managers and very wealthy investment professionals pay such a low tax rate.
Good point, Heidi.
They're just
They
wrong.
got-
They don't know what they're talking about. Now, the Trump-hating Washington Post, perfect example. They attack the president's tax plan. Look at the headline, what it says. GOP proposes deep tax cuts, provides few details on how to pay for them. Now, this is what the liberal press and people on the left will never, ever understand in spite of
Oh
Reagan
boy,
and
let's
Kennedy's
see.
success.
Let's go.
The idea, it's not a zero-sum game. You want to grow the economy. And if you do that, well, those people out of work and in poverty and on food stamps, they'll have jobs and stop taking handouts and they'll start paying taxes. In other words, you incentivize people.
I mean, that's just like...
Taxes. You create an environment that's growth.
We'll go back to that in a second. 620.
Media, they just play class warfare. They've been doing it for decades. Now, you got to remember this. Democrats and the mainstream left establishment media, they're not telling you that under President Obama, they'll never tell you this, 13 million more Americans were on food stamps. 8 million more Americans were put in poverty. 95 million Americans were out of the labor force. Lowest labor participation rate since the 70s and the worst economic recovery since the 40s. Lowest home ownership rate in 51 years. And by the way, President Obama accumulated more debt than every other president before him combined. Great job, President Obama. Now, they also don't want you to know that here's the facts. The rich that they hate so much, the top 1% of wage
Oh
earners
boy,
in America,
let's go.
according to the IRS,
Lay it on me, Hannity.
pay 39.5% of all federal income taxes. Top 10% wage earners, they pay 70.9% of personal income taxes. So it sounds like the rich are paying their fair share to me. Now, the bottom 50% of wage earners, they pay 2.8% combined.
Well, because they have no money. That's just like, this is so stupid. Are you kidding
Pay
me?
nothing. Zero federal income tax. And under President Trump's plan, they'll even pay less. So my advice to the GOP is very simple. Stay the course, follow the Reagan, the Kennedy models, and stick to the plan that the president is proposing.
Oh my God. All right, so let's see. 6. Let's see.
More Americans were put in poverty.
All right.
85 million Americans
I love this part. So, oh no, sorry, 620.
labor participant people to work and pay taxes. You create an environment that's growth oriented for everybody.
All right, so
Poverty and on food stamps, they'll have jobs and stop taking handouts and they'll start paying taxes. In other words,
all right, so they'll get jobs, stop taking handouts, start paying taxes, and apparently they're gonna get like home ownership and shit in there, right? Okay, but you know what are we talking here? That's talking like that's got to be $45,000-$50,000, and not even maybe not homeowner. That homeowner is even bigger. Like, oh God. But you know, I guess depending on where you live, but I mean, like, that's a pretty big jump from going from being fucking in poverty, homeless, to having a bank account, working a full-time job, clean shaven, all this other stuff. It's like, so, I mean, that requires, I mean, believe me, I wish people, I want people to do it too. I'm trying to do it, but like, you know, it's tough to, you know, assume that everybody's going to do that. Everyone's going to be like, I know, I'm going to go get up and do shit today. Yeah. And especially if you've just been on handouts, you know, on Obama handouts forever, like this guy says. So, I mean, why would you all of a sudden now? It's like, I would just keep taking the fucking money and the handouts, right? I don't know, like, because they've already just, that's what they've been doing. Like, it bugs me that they give people work ethics on Fox. It's like, because they also, you know, when you talk about universal basic income and socialism and all this, then everybody's bad. It's like in this, all these people, yeah, they're gonna get jobs and they're gonna want to pay taxes and they're gonna want to do all this shit, yeah. But then when they don't like them, it's just like all they're gonna do is smoke weed with their hippie socialist universal basic income shit. All right, but now that we watched the Hannity thing, let's watch a different one. Let's see. Fox News calling out. Fox News calls. Is this new? How new is
Every
this?
once in a while, Chris
Here we go.
Wallace makes a lot of sense on Fox News, and he does a pretty decent job challenging someone that he's interviewing. Case in point,
Let's
his
see.
recent interview with Nick Mulvaney, who is the White House budget director. Now, Mulvaney went on Fox News.
Nah, I don't want to listen to her. I don't like her voice. Trump tax reform. All right. 1 week ago. All right. Ooh. So here we go. Let's see what this guy says.
The president is hosting leaders of the manufacturing sector at the White House a little later on today. Marlin Steel's chief executive, Drew Greenblatt, joins us now. I believe I'm not sure you're going to be at the White House later on, but he's certainly joining us right now.
Holy shit, that dude looks weird.
Making a push for
Dude,
manufacturing.
stop smiling.
You're a steel kind of guy. Do you want steel import tariffs?
Well, we are very excited about the future of the economy. Manufacturers in general are over 90%. And matter of fact, the president is embracing manufacturing. 2 of our employees will be in the Oval Office today when he's making some announcements about manufacturing. One of his big initiatives is tax reform, which I had the privilege of welcoming him to the National Association of Manufacturers board meeting last week, 7 days ago, where he announced tax reform. It's going to be tremendous for our nation. We're really poised for great things. Our nation's like a coiled spring. The American manufacturing renaissance is really going to happen. And this president's plan for tax reform is going to do wonders for getting this economy really rocking.
Well,
we're very excited.
I got it, but I have to ask you, there has been some talk about putting tariff barriers on imported steel because maybe they're dumping it on us. Would you like to see barriers, tariffs on imported steel?
So tariffs, there's some industries that are negatively impacted, some industries that are positively impacted. We have to study this more carefully. The bottom line is that the tax reform plan that the president is pursuing is going to do such wonderful things for our nation. That's what we should be focusing on today, because I believe today is Manufacturing Day, and that's going to have a huge impact. Right now we have massive dislocation where Canada is charging a 15% tax on their factories, and in America we're charging 40%. That's just not tenable for our small and medium-sized manufacturers. And our nation's going to really prosper. We're going to be hiring a lot of talent to keep up with all the increasing demand with this new initiative.
Hold on a second, Drew. If you get the tax cut that's being talked about, you will go out and hire more people for your steel company. Is that correct?
Absolutely, and more importantly, we're already doing it because he announced it a couple days ago. We're all in. We're spending $1.2 million. We have construction workers on our facility today making additions, knocking down walls, moving machines around to accommodate the surge in business we're anticipating. Optimism is over 90% for the manufacturers, 3 quarters in a row. We're fired up. Manufacturers are enthusiastic about the future, and this is before the tax cuts are installed, which are going to happen this year. We're very optimistic.
Okay.
It's an exciting time for the American manufacturing renaissance.
Drew, I can tell you're all pumped up, and I don't.
He must really Trump must just have a hog between his legs, because that guy's like literally in love. All right, so I want to see a little bit about Marlin Steel. So what's the most? So they do okay. So let's new face of C. So I want to see how much steel, or how many robots this thing uses. Let's see. Let's see. Well, this is it. So I just like glanced over this a little bit. So let's look at this because this actually looks kind of interesting. So let me put this over here. All right. So how Marlin Steel got lean by paying for skills. Located in Baltimore, Maryland, Marlin Steel manufactures a wide range of customized wire products for businesses, including stainless steel baskets, racks, S-hooks, and material handling containers. Marlin has been around since 1968, but for most of its history produced only bagel baskets. That started to change in the early 2000s, shortly after Drew Greenblatt acquired the company. Faced with a stuttering economy, low-cost overseas competition, and the rise of low-carb diets, Greenblatt decided to get out of the bagel industry and into highly engineered, value-added products for business clients. The company invested in automation and skill training for its employees and switched to providing custom fabricated parts to industrial customers. This led to rapid growth as Marlin went from $800,000 in revenues per year when Greenblatt acquired it to over $5 million in 2012 and made the Incorporation 5000 list for 2 years running. That growth, however, did lead to some challenges. A few years into its transformation, Marlin faced the threat of losing sales because certain essential skills, from reading blueprints to programming robots, were too concentrated among a few members of the team. Expensive machines would idle, materials would sit unfinished in a warehouse, or shipments would simply not go out on time because the right skills were not available at the right time. Greenblatt ultimately solved this problem with remarkable transparency. In the break room, he posted an Excel sheet with every employee's name on it and what skill he or she currently possessed. He then offered direct pay increase for every employee that could demonstrate the new competencies on the list. This method, called the skills matrix, has served the company well ever since. We talked to Greenblatt about his experience and how his company worked through it. Alright, so that's it. I just thought that's interesting. I mean, from like a managing student like point of view, that's kind of cool. It's like, hey, I will pay you guys more money to get more skills. I mean, it's like, all right, okay, sure, why not? Excuse me. And they talked about him in my economics class, actually. So it's cool to see it, you know, on the internet. All right, and that was in 2015. But I'm curious is how much automation he's going to be doing, because here we go. Because automation is going to be a big problem. Let's see.
The king of bagel baskets. It's hard to believe that at one time, that's all the Baltimore-based manufacturer Marlin Steel was known for. Day after day, each employee made 15 to 20 wire baskets for well-known chains to display their bagels.
When I first bought Marlin 15 years ago, our clients demanded a commodity product. So the quality really didn't matter that much. Our employees hand-bent everything.
Oh, Jesus.
Issues. We had people missing fingers, missing eyes, and we made things at a very slow pace. Then China came, and they started bringing in baskets for cheaper than I could buy the steel. All of a sudden, our business went away. So we really had two choices. We could either go bankrupt, or we could morph, transform, and we pursued transformation.
That's when Greenblatt realized metal baskets could be used far beyond the bagel business, but they would need to automate.
When you first start investing in automation, employees are skeptical, they're concerned, there's anxiety, and it's rational because they don't like change. However, in our case, and I think in most cases, automation and robotics grows jobs. So for example, we've grown from 18 employees to 28 employees, but much more importantly, our employees are doing much more interesting jobs. They're doing jobs that use their brain rather than their brawn. They're not doing repetitive, mundane tasks.
It actually makes my job a little bit easier. Less hand work and more machine work and more brain work.
It helps me have job security, and the factory as a whole is more profitable, whereas before automation it'd take us 3-4 days to do a job that now takes less than 1 day.
It empowers you, and you're faster, and you're better, and you're safer.
We used to have 3 or 4 injuries a year. Now we've gone, and I'm so proud of this, 1,680 days without a safety incident.
Wow, I wonder how if they're still going now, or if someone fucked up.
Employees were offered training to enhance their skills.
Here we go, skills matrix thing.
To operate the machines, Greenblatt expanded even further, purchasing more automation and hiring additional employees, from engineers to those with experience in manufacturing technology.
I came up with 12 credentials in different forms of manufacturing, which gave me a good opportunity and a good head start to be able to start into the manufacturing industry.
Because the employees are so much more effective and so much more productive, we can afford to pay them more. All of our employees have Blue Cross Blue Shield, they have a 401k plan, they have vacation, and they're paid very well.
Marlin has about $3.5 million worth of automation equipment and industrial robots, from automated welders and welders.
And this guy's going to be spending, like, imagine if he's spending a third of his money as of like 2013, you know? He's spending a third of his total company on renovations and shit. That's how confident he is.
And has been recognized by Inc. magazine as one of the fastest growing companies in the United States.
When I first bought the company, we were plus or minus an inch in our tolerance. Now we're making parts that are plus or minus 0.04 of an inch. So what's happened is that we can sell now to clients in the pharmaceutical industries, medical industries, automotive, aerospace, winning jobs that we never could win. Jobs that have to be on a boat from China for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, now could be made in Maryland, and we could ship it in 1 day, 3 days. It blows away the customer because of our speed and our quality. The Association for Advancing Automation is leading the charge. We need an organization that tells the community how important it is for automation and robotics in our future. This is creating jobs in America. This is improving the workplace because we have a safer workplace, and it's also giving us revenue increase because we can win more jobs with more automation and more robotics.
So good way to. I guess it's. I was thinking of it in a reversey. That doesn't make sense way, but I was thinking of it more of him using more, like, it's nice that he wants to grow robots and people. That's my point. So, because I could definitely see that being useful and helpful, but it's not going to be given. I mean, only like 10 jobs. Like, he went from $1 to $5 million like worth of money, but he could only hire 10 more people. And I mean, but so I guess if a lot of people are gonna get on it, maybe more, but we'll see. So that was cool looking at that guy though. So let me just do tax. Let's see. So Trump tax news and discussion. So let's see. All right. No, none of those have what I want. I'm looking for, like, Trump tax. Alright, Mal says she has 6 months ago. No. I want 24 hours. Alright, so Sanders for president. The Donald... Well, let's look at this one, because the Donald is, like, pro-Donald politics. Or Donald, so let's see what it's talking about. I don't think we need that video up. I don't think we need that up. Alright. Almost half of U.S. adults don't know anything about about Trump tax proposal. So, Gary Cohn talks to him, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we'll start here. Alright. President Donald Trump unveiled his tax plan earlier this month, but despite tweets and extensive news coverage, the public holds a massive blind spot about the plan's details, its potential effects on taxpayers, and their own financial situation. According to the survey data of 1,570 adults compiled by data-driven marketing company Fluent, many people are still in the dark over proposals that could affect their finances and in the economy significantly over the coming years should Trump's plan become law. So, for the record, starting off, not for the record, but it's only 1,600 people. Like, that's not a whole lot of people. Like, all right, and they don't say survey data data mining company, but they don't say if it's like online or if it's door to door or like how they did it. So I don't know. It's 1,600. It's not a massive sample size, you know. That's like less than a college. All right, but anyway, not everyone is expected to recite details of the proposal, but the survey yielded a particularly surprising result. Only 53% of Americans had heard about Trump's tax proposal. A sizable 47% of survey respondents said they didn't know anything about it. Trump's tax plan, broadly speaking, collapses the 7-bracket system currently employed to a 3-bracket model, lowering the highest tax bracket to 35% from 39.6% and raising the lowest bracket to 12% from 10%. The middle brackets would be condensed to a 25%, though it's not immediately clear which ones would be grouped with the highest and lowest or remain in the middle. In addition, Congress may add a 4th bracket for ultra-high earners. The cutoff and percentage has not been specified and will be up to them if they proceed. For businesses, the proposal also slashes corporate tax to 20% from 30%. Besides the brackets and rate changes, the tax plan would double an individual's standard deduction to $12,000 for individual and $2,400 for joint filers. These changes are some of the largest to the tax system in decades, but 55% of the people who are familiar with the proposal have no idea about the proposal's potential effects. For the rest of that same group, 20% think that it will help them and 25% think that it will hurt them. Results show an expected partisan gap between Trump supporters and non-Trump supporters. 51% of people who do not support Trump, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, view the changes as a massive tax cut for the wealthy. 54% of Trump supporters, who the study found favor a single tax income bracket for all, see it as a chance for economic stimulus, and 51% think it will help the middle class. And just 12% of those anti-Trumpers agree. The survey also sought to reveal what people want their tax dollars spent on. For Trump supporters and non-supporters, healthcare and education led the way by a significant margin. Through the Make America Great Again crowd put military spending as a close third behind education. With the exception of military spending, priorities were almost identically similar in line across party and Trump advocates, with healthcare, education, military infrastructure, justice, safety net style programs, and foreign aid prioritized in that order. Alright, cool beans. Cool beans. Let's see what else Reddit has for us. Trump's tax plan, middle class con job. So this is to R. Portland. Today's must read for entrepreneurs, Trump's tax plan. 2 hours ago. Yeah, but I think Forbes has their stupid pop-up shit. Let's see. The startup crisis, financing, disaster prep, All right, taxes. But first I want to read disaster prep. But I gotta make myself a little smaller and put myself over here. Alright. Business owners are learning about preparing for hurricanes. Harvey, Irma, and Maria have taught small business owners that disaster planning is more than just evacuating and trying to mitigate physical damage. It's also about the what-ifs. Many realized they hadn't done the right kind of preparation, including buying flood insurance. Some say they want to have their own generators, but even those with carefully made plans ran into situations their plans didn't account for. Michael Mole, owner of a senior helper's home business in Palm Beach, Florida, thought he had a thorough strategy in place before Hurricane Irma hit. It included plans to meet the specific care needs of each client, a list of hurricane shelters and alternate routes for staffers, reminders to fill their gas tanks, and Mole having supplies and extra cash on hand. But we didn't plan on cell phone towers going down. Without them, he couldn't communicate with employees. He plans now to buy two-way radios like the ones emergency responders use. In Houston, by one estimate, daily business revenue returned to 80 to 100% of its pre-storm level within a week. At Nightlight Pediatric Urgent Care near Bush Intercontinental Airport, workers have stripped the office to nothing but its stone walls, glass windows, and metal frames. When Harvey hit, the strip mall where the office is located quickly turned into a lake. We have a camera, so we were watching. And at first it was like, oh, okay, it's just a little flow. We can handle it. And then 2 hours later, I was like, okay, it's done. She said reconstruction will probably cost more than $300,000. The company has flood insurance, which should cover most of it. But Gentlist said this was the busiest of 7 branches, accounting for a quarter of the company's revenue. And it's going to take a long time to rebuild, in part because contractors have been in high demand after Harvey. Because you can't even find a pod in this city right now, we had to rent a U-Haul. So we had to pay for a U-Haul to sit in the parking lot with our cabinets in there. She estimates rebuilding will take 3 to 6 months. Oof. Okay. Taxes. I just wanted to see if they had anything on Puerto Rico was following that. So now we're back to taxes on Forbes. So an entrepreneur who built a $5 billion company says tax cuts won't create jobs. I am what certain politics call a job creator. 2 recessions ago, in 2001, 5 partners and I founded a software company in Silicon Valley. After great difficulty and great fortune, that company grew to serve customers in over 30 countries, generating over $500 million in annual revenue and employing more than 2,000 professionals in highly skilled, high-paying jobs, a large majority of them in the United States. Today, I am the chief executive of that company, Guidewire Software, valued on the New York Stock Exchange at over $5 billion. As an entrepreneur myself, and a friend to many others, I know that lower tax rates will not motivate more people to start companies. People start companies for many reasons: a compelling idea, ambition for fame and fortune, a desire to be one's own boss, frustration with one's own employer. I have never heard someone say, I would have started a company, but tax rates were too high. I would have started this company, but I wouldn't have started this company, but then George W. Bush cut tax rates, so I did. The estate tax will hit only 80 small businesses this year. Conservatives have long held up the estate tax as a scourge of the American entrepreneurial spirit. So the question is, should small businesses care? The answer, only about 80 of them. That's the number of small businesses and farms that would be subject to the estate tax in 2017, according to the Tax Policy Center. When it comes to small businesses, the effects of the estate tax are purely aspirational, and repealing it is another example of small business tax cut that won't really help small businesses, but deliver huge savings to the super rich. So, 80 small businesses. Do they have a link to that? Alright, so let's see. And that's subject to the estate tax according to the Tax Policy Center. And this is just gonna... Oh, it's a website. Well, interesting. The unintended consequences of killing the estate tax. Alright, yeah, let's see. Alright. The United Framework for Tax Reform, outlined last week by the congressional Republican leadership and the Trump administration, included a proposal to eliminate the estate tax. It also explicitly preserved the tax deductible for charitable giving, presumably because the GOP believes that contributing to nonprofits is valuable public good. Yet by repealing the estate tax, the proposal could sharply reduce charitable contributions. In a September 6th speech in North Dakota to promote the tax plan, President Trump made the standard case against the estate tax, which is levied only on estates in excess of $5.49 million, or $10.98 million for married couples. In his talk, he pointed out a local rancher named Julie and said, like many family ranchers, Julie worries about the death tax shutting down her family business and keeping her from passing it on to her children. It's a devastating tax. Julie, we are not going to allow the death tax or the inheritance tax, or whatever you call it, to crush the American dream. Realistically, North Dakota family farmers probably should worry more about being hit by lightning than paying a state tax. In the entire U.S., only 80 small farms and businesses will pay the estate tax this year, and only 44 estates of any kind in North Dakota paid any amount of estate tax in 2015. But there are other considerations to be repealing the estate tax. One is that many wealthy people use charitable giving while alive or through other bequests to reduce or eliminate their estate tax liability. In the mid-1940s, the bequests of Henry Ford's sons made the Ford Foundation the largest philanthropy network, or largest philanthropy in the world, and in 2014, businessman Ralph Wilson Jr. left $1 billion to his charitable foundation. In 2015, charitable $20 billion. Jesus. So they just give it to charity, but then they get back more money because of their taxing. So hold on, let me see. Let me pull up this video real quick. I just have to pull it up on history. Sorry, give me a second. I'm gonna find it. Here we go. Boom. All right.
The United States has a problem.
We're gonna watch
income
this.
inequality.
Things are much worse today in terms of inequality than they were 30 years ago.
The biggest threat to us as a nation is income inequality.
People have different ideas about why this is happening.
CEO pay climbs every single year without exception.
The United States has lost 5 million manufacturing jobs since the year 2000. Big shifts that's happened in the economy.
This is like, this is super good.
But one of the biggest drivers
where do we have the?
Is hiding here in these 2,000 pages.
I want to skip to the tax. All right. So here we go.
Save at most $15 on his taxes. But let's say Dan's boss, Steve, makes the same donation to his church.
All right. So
Steve
ready?
Makes $500,000 a year, which puts him in the top tax bracket. And the same $100 donation could save Steve $39.60.
So, when the first guy, regular Joe guy, at his 15% bracket, donates, when he donates money to his church,
makes the same donation
right?
to his church.
Boom.
Steve makes $500,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, a little bit farther back.
Puts him in the 15% tax bracket.
So he gets, where is it?
He would save at most $15.
Boom. So $15 versus this other guy is getting, here we go. He's getting $15. This other guy's getting $40 almost. So these guys that are donating, $20 billion in charity, they're getting back like $9 billion of that. I mean, that's pretty fucking disgusting. Like, that's just absolutely fucking disgusting. Like, the rich get richer. Holy shit. But you guys should watch this video. I would watch it, but it just came out recently, I guess. Yeah, October 9th. And it's trending. And so I think they would probably, try and take down this channel's video if I played the whole thing. So, go watch it. Yeah. And that's all for today. We'll probably play some more video games later.